Okay, back to this part of the commentary. Also, I should probably give the information about what a dark avatar is. The dark avatar is basically the opposite of what the avatar is. The avatar that would bring balance to the four nations, while the dark avatar just wants to destroy the balance. And okay, in Legend of Korra, in Book 2, Spirits, Unalaq wanted to free the spirits from the spirit realm, and he also wanted to free Vatu, who was, a very evil spirit. I mean, both Rava and Vatu are basically the yin and yang. I mean, they're literally the yin and the yang, and that's basically it. And Vatu began to absorb himself into Unalaq, and thus became the first Dark Avatar. Although I would not think Vatu was gone forever, because just like with Raba, they would do the whole reincarnation. Like, after the Avatar dies, Raba would leave the body of the Avatar and go to the next Avatar. That would probably be the same thing for Vatu. Hopefully when there's going to be another series of a new Avatar series, I would hope we get to see Vatu. Just, for the whole Dark Avatar versus the Avatar kind of stuff. I'm just saying, it'd be like Batman and Joker in sort of way, because they're both opposite of each other. Oh, it looks like Vatu just turned Shendu into a stone. Back to his stone prison. And then blasts him. And Vatu wins. And now for the interlude. We see Apophis gets a surprise visit from Scorpius. And, mocks him of his failure from the Daleks. Yeah, you get it. He's just mocking him. Act like, oh, I'm just admiring this stuff you have around here, my good fellow. Even though I have not yet seen most of Star Trek yet, there's a lot of things I'm still trying to catch up. The ones that have been used in wars, including Disney versus non-Disney villains, Disney villains war, non-Disney villains tournament, heroes versus villains, all that stuff. Oh, and looks like they're both gonna attack the Daleks. Okay, now for another fight, we got Repton versus Meta. Repton has heard about this challenger named Meta. I didn't get too far on Red versus Blue, because that's basically where Meta is from. Red versus Blue, and it's actually hilarious. It's made by Rooster Teeth, the same company who did Ruby. Well, before they did Ruby, there was Red versus Blue. It's basically it was supposed to be like a fan-made. It's basically a fan-made series of Halo in a way. So it was basically like a gameplay sort of thing, but they decided to turn it into a series. And I think you can still find it on YouTube, and you probably should. And it's really hilarious, and you guys should check it out. Maybe I should leave the link down below to the Red vs. Blue series. Boom shakalaka! Although it's been forever since I've seen Stormhawks. Oh, there's Pitch Black. It looks like Repton is gonna get that blade. I just love the editing. Had him throwing that blade at him. Looks like a boomerang or something. And use the editing of Easter Bunny's boomerang as Repton's weapon. It's just what I love about them. They just make good editing. Well, I guess it's a sort of tie since no one wins. Okay, now the next fight. The Alliance versus the Daleks. Okay, so Scorpius and Apophis and Gold Dugat lead a combined fleet of ships into Dalek space and launch a massive attack on the Dalek fleet. Now, for the Daleks, going into the war, but also exterminate, exterminate. Couldn't help it. I still have not seen Battlestar Galactica yet. Maybe I should get a DVD series of them. And I should probably get back to Star Trek and... I'm just sort of watching. Boom! Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Well, let's see who's gonna win, and... Whoa. I'm just watching because it looks really interesting. Really? Sorry, there's not much to say because I'm just watching. It's just I'm not mostly familiar with a lot of these characters, but only the Daleks, and that's just it. So even though I don't recognize these guys, so I'm kind of rooting for the Daleks. Oh, this guy's a fraidy kid. Pew, 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 pew. Just going around. And looks like they blew up the Daleks ship. And the Alliance wins. Aww. And now for the other interlude. Wait, I thought that was... Oh, that was the intermission on Scorpius' part. So now we're on the interlude. So we see Azula meeting up with Chase Young to form an alliance with her. Then we see... Wait a minute. Emperor Zerg? No, that cannot be right. That doesn't make sense. What is he doing here? He's a Disney villain, not a non-Disney villain. And he meets with Beerus, even though I have not seen Dragon Ball Z series. I'm sorry, I never watched many of the Dragon Ball series. Neither does CK Primeval 7, so I guess me and him are on the same boat. We never seen them, but we're probably going to have to watch the series. And that dude, he's not non-Disney, he's Disney. So is that girl. What's going on? Until I read it in the description, turns out that an overlord from a parallel universe, Disney versus anime villains to be precise. So this is just a cameo. So that's basically it. Okay, even though I have not continued Disney vs. Anime Villains fan commentaries, I only did 5, but I'm not going back on it. And some people might have thought this about, oh, does that mean that this series is connected to Disney vs. Anime? No, it just means it's a cameo. It just means there's probably other universes out there, not just 2. Disney Villains War and Non-Disney Villains Tournament are the only ones with the connections. The Great Evil, the Legion of Darkness, the Secrets of Darkness, all that stuff. What, were you guys just watching parts instead of rounds of this series? I'm just asking. Okay. Like, History Buff did kind of thought of the idea of cameos. Like, hey, why don't we just make some cameos to other series? And one of them like, yeah, but that wouldn't make sense until with this one, when History Buff was commentating, he did admit that this, when he saw this, he was like, yeah, you're right, it does not make sense. If you guys are wondering when I'm going to come back to making a fan commentary of Disney versus anime, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you guys already know, I'm not a fan of Disney versus anime villains. I am not. here's the reason. Okay, before I had a YouTube account, before I had anything else, even after high school, I did got into anime because of Fullmetal Alchemist. And when knowing that there was a Disney versus anime villains, I was just, I like the whole mature aspect. I've watched like Code Geass, Fullmetal Alchemist, Inuyasha, all that stuff, and Hellsing. And I was really got into anime. And then watching the first 5 rounds of Disney versus anime, I just found it amateurish. I mean, yes, there are some that are actually anime, like Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, Bleach. Yes, those are anime. But those are anime that are aimed towards little kids. But then you got the ones that are not anime, like the Powerpuff Girls, or Legend of Spyro, or no, you got the Powerpuff Girls, or the Super Mario Brothers cartoon, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or Crash Bandicoot. No, it's not anime. Crash Bandicoot is not Japanese. It's not anime. You can't say it's anime. It's not Japanese. I just don't like how it is. If it was Disney versus 4Kids Funimation villains, that would make more sense. I just didn't watch the rest of it. It was just... Okay, anime is not something that's aimed at small children. It's very dark and noble facts. I'll leave the link down below, that old video I did about it. It was like a poster with the descriptions only, so you guys can understand that. And if you guys are wondering why... Never mind, I gotta get this going. So it seems Thrax was his agent. And then we see Captain Hook as meet up with an old face. Mordred. This version from BBC's Merlin. And Mordred wants to help Hook to take down the Legion of Darkness. And then we see Agent Bishop. Agent Smith confronts Mock with a strange theory, convincing the mad genius to have him remove Mock's computer, while telling him about this philosophy of the human race.
I'd like to share a revelation.
This is the audio from the Matrix movie.
It came to me when trying to classify every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium surrounding the environment to humans.
It sounds like he's... Yeah, we all know Agent Smith is like a human hater virus dude. And it sounds like he's convincing Mock to leave the Legion of Darkness just to wage war on the human race. Really? And what his supercomputer is now... AIM.
How much I've come to hate
From I have no mouth and I must scream.
87.44
Jesus!
miles printed circle.
Okay, at first I never knew who that dude was until I looked him up. He's basically a supercomputer who killed like billions of people, but only 5 that he kept around so he could torture. That's the AIM from I have no mouth and I must scream. It's based on a novel which has also been adapted into a video game. Yeesh. Well, that was Non-Disney Villains Tournament Round 12, Part 1. And see you guys in the next part of the video, or whatever.